world. By myself and my tour, I'm imagining this. And it became so real for me. So real that there was this world where I had access to anything that I wanted. There was nobody to tell me no. I could make up anything and it was mine. I still believe to this day, I will be a pilot. You know what, Dad? Someday I'm gonna be rich and I'm gonna be a great leader. He looks at me and says, I agree. And I told him, and I'm gonna go to America, I'm gonna learn how to do it, and I'm gonna come and do it here. Today I wanted to talk about some of the key events that led us to where we are now. Yes, I know. So some of our origin story, as it were. And it's a long story, so we can't really get through all of it, but we'll get as far as we can get and then just begin to share our lives with the people. We'll see you. The truth is, I was looking at it as a game. Let's play a game to think. We talked about what we are going to talk about today in advance. But how would you say it? Is it when did our story start? Is it what is it exactly? I guess for me, I know that we are both not from this land. Here we live in America. We're in Kansas City right now, but we are both from giving people our locations. From Africa, from the Congo, and we have many people that we meet here look at us as aliens of sorts. Like we have, what kind of strange land did you grow up from? What were your life experiences? What are the things that you grew up doing? And I wanted to make sure that we had a platform to share that and to share all the good things that have happened to us that we call favor. And throughout the series, throughout all the things that we do, you will get to see who we are and what we do. But yeah, I wanted to start. That's a good point. We have so many places we can start from. But what do you think that we should start? For me, I mean, I don't think we should start with the same place. We should start for whatever we think we should start. Okay. But as I was thinking about it, for me, it just dawned on a specific memory. The first time it occurred to me, the first time I made the resolution that I will be coming to America someday. Go on. That's a good place to start. Here's the picture. We are in Goma. We used to live at the time. Goma was still a small town. It has not expanded like it was by the time we came to Goma. So where we live in my neighborhood was just in the middle of forests. It was completely undeveloped. We were among the first person to come in that neighborhood, that area. I didn't know that part about your life. Interesting. Yes. So that entire neighborhood, by the time we got there, the entire neighborhood, we got there as soon as water was connected. So they were actually connecting water in that region when we got there. Wow. I was young, and my pops was a young fella. He discovered he wanted to buy land, but to have his family, but he had a vision for the future. As I was saying, my father, a young fella, and I've not had a discussion with him on this subject. It's just observation after many years, right? We used to rent a house in a neighborhood called Office a long time ago. It was like next to town before. And my father wanted independence, wanted to build his own home. So as a young fella at the time, with the money he had, if he wanted to buy a big enough plot where he can build his big home someday, he had to go out of town. So he went out of town, he bought his bigger plot, and then they created a little wooden house in that area. So we were like among the first, there were only 2 houses when we came in the neighborhood. So I remember as a young fella, as we were moving, I was shocked. People were excited. It's excitement to move. And we entered this car and we are driving. They've moved all our stuff in this new wooden house. And I feel like we are driving to the forest because we are driving these places and there is nothing really. It's hard to picture even for me because even when I got to Goma, the city was not all that big yet. But continue, it must have been not a wasteland. But it was not. Actually, it was beautiful. It was just these eucalyptus trees everywhere. It was green. It was truly like an undeveloped forest of some sort. And it's crazy. If you look at it right now, you're like, what happened to the trees? What happened to all the vegetation? There was sounds of wildlife, probably monkeys and things like that, in that area. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, and we drove all the way, boom, boom. I know there was Tropicana, it was still there. It was like this bar, when people went to drink and there were loose ladies there. It was at the beginning of Avenue. And then we would drive down And we were the only property that I know at that time we did not have an enclosure yet. We were open to the wild, and we had one neighbor, the neighbor right next to us. They were the only neighbors with kids who were excited to see new people coming. They also had a very large plot there, but they were cheap. So that's why my father got the plot. I'm assuming. I don't know if I asked him that, but maybe someday we'll talk to him and ask him because I'm hoping we'll bring in the podcast. You know, Ben,
Definitely at some point, definitely.
I think the juices are flowing. We are on. So now here's what happens. Back to our story. That's the setting in which you're living. Electricity was a privilege then in that area.
Still the case today, unfortunately.
It will come rarely with giant jugs.
Hey,
It's
let
strange
me
thing.
be.
Yeah, electricity will coming on like rarely, you know, and it was a jubilation for us because as young fellas, you get to watch TV. You know, you get to watch. At the time, the coveted channel was Canal Plus Horizon, one of the French channels, honestly, of origin. And everything once in a while, you follow.
That big gigantic thing they probably had on your roof.
At that point, we did not have that yet.
How did you get Canal Plus without?
The art and say used to sometimes it's period of
Oh,
hour.
okay, they would broadcast. Okay,
broadcast it for
see,
little
I see,
thing.
okay.
And we not until we look many years later.
I see.
You know, at the time we're living in that wooden house, and it's a small house, and the electricity will come some often late at night. Ridiculous, but it was utilitarian for my parents. Actually, they were happy that the electricity came at least at night because the freezer had a period of working, keeping the food, you know, the food cold in the freezer. But when we were awake, there was no electricity, no, almost never.
And you weren't allowed to just open the freezer because I know that part too in my life. Dad would be very strict.
What are you doing?
If there was no electricity, you do not open the fridge or the freezer unnecessarily.
Yes,
this is familiar.
Yes. So, this one event, my parents we are a praying family. So at this point, many years have come. The area has developed slightly a bit. We have more neighbors that have come in the neighborhood. Construction is sprouted out. I've watched that neighborhood change my entire. I was there my entire life watching it change, grow. And my parents in the neighborhood, they created a group of parents in the neighborhood that go pray together. They used to meet this one area, this one house that was happening in the neighborhood. La famille Kajabika. If one of you sees this,
shout out to the Kajabikas.
Yes. So they will go pray there, and then they will send one of the daughters who was older to come babysit for us. And we babysit, and we were there in dark board. And then the electricity will come up, will jump in jubilation. Yeah! And you hear shout all over the neighborhood.
Something you take for granted now here.
First things, the kids are running, plugging in the TV, what is on the TV. Anyway, sometimes it was even nothing exciting, but having it there was such entertainment. And for us, this was a perfect time because dad is not in the house. Meaning, for a small period of time in the evening, because that was a prayer meeting, the prisoners get to run the asylum, and the head prisoner I was because I was the oldest one. So I'll go sit in my desk chair and have the control of the remote and pick that which all my subjects will watch.
But that is a point that people don't really appreciate here in America. Back home, there is a hierarchy based on age. The oldest one has control, preeminence as it pertains to what we watch on TV. So
yeah, no, and it even I mean I've seen it in some families, but here it's not all families. It's not normal. You know, here you see people insulting and but talking their older brother. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Even my older cousins, when they came, I had to be.
Yeah, you bow to them.
Are you crazy?
Yes.
I do a difference. Part of African culture that I actually enjoy, as long as people are not using it to dominate others, if you know what I mean. But anyways, so here's a picture. A movie comes on. Interesting movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme. We catch it at the beginning of the movie. Because sometimes you will catch the movie where you catch the movie. There was no DVR or whatever. So if you're lucky, you catch the movie in that starting credits, the 80s music in those movies. I'm feeling free. Everybody seated there, and then we're enjoying the movie. And then obviously they put your hands, and we hear our dad's coming in the middle of the movie. Already we're in distress. because we know that can just come and say, give me that remote and put in the news, and we all have to be quiet. But a few seconds after that enter the house, boom, darkness, power loss.
Oh, yeah.
Christian, go get the kerosene lamp. Go and get the kerosene lamp, they light it up. Boom, there we go. And I'm sitting there. One thing I never appreciated as a child is that my father always listened to me. It is not a given for African dads. Generally, they are distant and kingish. Even as a young fella, my father,
like regal,
yes,
royal, yeah,
yes, there was two chairs. The way the living was set up, there was like two love chairs. I don't know how you call it now, the small couches, and then a long couch opposite. My mom would lay in the long couch, and then this couch in front of the used to be my dad's, and they gave me the honor to have this couch next to him. That was Christian's chair, And the other peasants sometimes they would sit on the floor or in the kitchen, we had a eating room next. Ruth had a spot. She liked hiding behind the couch in the corner. So there was this dynamic. Everybody had their spot in the house. Yes. So I'm sitting there next to Paps, and he's sitting. I mean, we're there. We're just talking. Often we talk about God because my mom, when they teach us about God, told us telling us stories, biblical stories in her own perspective. It was a warm, actually a very small family conversation, and I would have questions for my father, incessant questions. And now I know he was annoyed because he was tired. He never showed it. And asking Paps, Dad, why is it that when I watch the TV, the people on TV, they never had a power outage in the movies? There's always power. There's always electricity and everything. What's going on there? And also, what is it really? Pastor look at me and say, often it's America or Europe. And the reason why they have electricity and power is because they have money and they have great leaders and they are rich. I looked at him. I said,
the seed planted, yeah.
You know what, Dad? Someday I'm going to be rich and I'm going to be a great leader. He looks at me and says, I agree. And I told him, and I'm going to go to America. I'm going to learn how to do it. And I'm going to come and do it here. He said, I'm going to send you.
And you probably didn't even have the means yet. That's faith.
You possibly. There was no way. You understand? Wow. No way.
That is. I didn't know. I don't know this about him. I know this is my brother right here. I didn't know these details, but continue.
There's no chance that is a reality, but you better believe as a child. My dad told me something. I believed it like it was the gospel. And a good job is done. And I hope to God that I'll be as good with my kids. I cannot track a promise my father gave me, didn't keep. And
a legacy right there.
He was notorious for refusing to promise things. Our entire childhood, we tried to get him to promise, but that promise he said no, peut-être, ça peut arriver. But every once in a while, he would make a promise. I've tracked them. I can't remember a single time a promise did not come. There was one promise that took a long time to come. I done great in school. So I done not so good in school when I started. And then I had a very aggressive talking to because of that. And then I promised him I'll do better. And then he gave me a target. And I blew that target out of the water. He told me, I'm going to buy you a bicycle. And that bicycle took a long time to come. But that bicycle came. That's the only memories of a promise I know that took a long time, but that just came. So OG has never missed a promise. And because of that, his word to me growing up was simply the gospel. So when he told me something, I just believed it. And when he told me that, I saw myself in America. I picture, what does America look like? What age will I be when I go to America? I wonder. And then I'll tell that to my mom. My mom would be giggling. He's like, I don't know, your 20s, hopefully, because, before that is too early. I want you to be well-formed as an African person with an African mind before you go to America. We giggle about that. And me, having no trepidation as a kid, the very next day, as we go out playing soccer on the streets, I inform all my friends, I'll be going to America to school. So they started mocking me and started calling me the American. The American, why? Also because I'm a large person. I've always been a bigger kid than the kids
Larger
around
than
me.
yeah.
So there was this assumption that people are American people. So because I said I wanted to go to America and I was big, there was this just a nickname, the American. So I was called by my peers the American my entire life. We were playing sports. I was also in that my entire life also. I played soccer. I remember I went to a soccer academy, and I remember I played basketball. It was always surprising. How is that big kid doing that? I loved it. I loved it when I came to the basketball court, and people are choosing. They look at the guy. You're a bit round to the edges. You're not gonna pick you. I stay there and wait. And then my turn comes. And after that first term, I'm the first one picked always. Because I would get there and dominate. But learning that, I was just more athletic than you would think. I didn't look the way I moved. To this day, I move, jump faster than you would think, when I'm healthy. That is, so that is something that's been always in my life. Not knowing that this sport is be the way that I get to America. But for me, where it started, it was on that night. I must have been. It was right before my father disappeared because of his cancer. We started telling us what was going on. So I must have been 9 then. Because and then shortly after that, he just went away. And we wondering what's going on. My mom also went away. They never told us something. Never told us that he was sick, that he was close to death. They never told us. So I just knew mom and dad are somewhere at the away. And I'm here by myself with my sisters and my aunt. So, yeah, so I was 9. For me, the journey to America began that night when my dad told me I would send you. And then, guess what job I wanted to do? I wanted to be a pilot. And I still
I didn't know
believe,
that. That's strange.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
still
you
believe
told me
to
that
this
before.
day,
Yes.
yeah, I still believe to this day, I will be a pilot.
To get a pilot license
Yes, I'll fly something.
and fulfill
You know,
that dream.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very fun because Steve mocked me for wanting to be a pilot. I was like, what is this? You know, he mocked me. He wanted to be a businessman or an engineer, but guess what? Today, Steve is a pilot, and I'm the one who did engineering. And all of us do business, but that is where the story started for me. No, the story started for you when. When was
Wow.
the idea put in your
That
head?
is okay. For me, there are 2 key moments
Yes.
as I search the furthermost recesses of my psyche. Um, there was one. So I created the event in my mind, and then my dad confirmed it far later on. It's an interesting story. So for me,
You
grew up in abject poverty. Abject poverty. The streets in Kinshasa, the capital city of our country. In Kinshasa, the street was Ngina. Ngina was the name of the street. And we used to live in this really tiny, it's the earliest home that I remember. I don't know if I was born in that home, but it's the earliest home that I remember. My earliest memories in that home maybe go back to when I was 5, 6 years old. And we used to live right next door to the school. So we have this really tiny home with the roof that had holes in it when it would rain, and water would get in the house. We'd have to pile up a whole bunch of pots and pans to catch the water. Crazy stuff.
That's the way you've been waiting for a little
Yeah.
fella.
And we didn't have plumbing attached to the house. We had I guess you'd call it a toilet. This is a generous word for that. But it was detached from the house. And mom would usually bathe us right outside the house, right outside. And she would just bathe us. And every now and again, I would see
Your classmates.
some of my, it wasn't, I don't know if mom remembers that, but that was beyond embarrassing. And
So you're out there naked little kid as your
at
classmates are
times,
passing
yes,
by.
especially if you're sick and school is letting out, people would see you getting bathed. But then again, it wasn't that shocking. I suspect it was mostly in my head because nudity in our culture is not that big a deal.
Especially at that age.
Especially at that age. Yes, I'm 5, I'm 6 years old, but I don't know why I was self-conscious as a kid like that. I don't know if it's normal for a kid to be self-conscious that way, but anyway, I was 6 and that would happen. And I remember my parents had so many more troubles to deal with than to think about buying me toys and things. I would search the neighborhood and find tiny pieces of, like tiny branches, if I can put it that way, but really, really small ones. The ones that most resembled a human being. And those, when I found one, I would cherish it. It would represent me in my life. And we didn't really have access to a lot of movies, but every now and again, I catch a movie. And it turns out that what I saw in the movies was the main element to build my inner world, my magic world in my head.
Yes.
And obviously, most of those movies were Hollywood movies, and the Rambo, Rocky, all these movies. So Stallone and Van Damme and Europe, America.
Chuck Norris.
Yes. And all those elements built up my inner world. So I was like, oh, wow. I didn't even know, I don't think I knew of America per se. I was too young of a kid. But that reality was far more appealing to me than what I was seeing around me. So when I didn't have to engage with my brothers, my sisters, my siblings, my cousins, I would be alone, a recluse in my world. By myself and my toy. I'm imagining this. And it became so real for me. So real that there was this world where I had access to anything that I wanted. There was nobody to tell me no. I could make up anything and it was mine. And I would continue the story day by day as I grow up and as my character would be the hero in the story. So that's really the earliest memory that I have of this reality right now that we have right now being what it is. So fast forward a little bit, we grew up in Kinshasa. Things were rough for mom and dad in Kinshasa. And dad stumbled upon an opportunity. I don't know how all that happened. I would love to have him on this show one day to tell us, Dad, why did you even move to Goma in the first place? So Goma is in the eastern part of our country. So Kinshasa is on the opposite side. So we flew. He went first. So he heard of an opportunity in Goma, though it was not a very safe place. And to this day, there's still ongoing wars and things like that. But to him, it was worth it to give his family a chance at some form of financial freedom. I'm very curious to what was going through his mind.
The psyche of a man.
Yes. He went despite...
You gotta do what men do.
Despite all the warnings, despite what everybody told him around him, there he go. He went to Goma, but he wanted to go first. He wanted to go first, find some stability, and then bring mom and us to follow him. Many stories in between, but I'm sure we'll have more time to discuss those. Long story short, I finished that academic year, that school year, and then a year later after he left, we joined him as well. Now here I am in Goma. And from my perspective, Kinshasa is this big city, and Goma, you're essentially coming to the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to do. The water's salty.
Oh yeah, I forgot it. The salty water.
The water's salty, volcanic.
Unbelievable.
It's a volcanic town. The ground has almost everywhere you have this hard volcanic, dark, rocks. That took me a lot to get used to, even that.
Really?
It was harder to find smooth terrain to play soccer with friends and things.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because there's so much volcanic structures.
Rocks everywhere. We played in those rocks with no problem.
Yeah,
Lost a lot of toenails.
That wasn't for me. But I remember an event. I get there, what we call, how was I? 13 years old when I was in Goma.
Yeah.
En deuxième secondaire. I don't know what the equivalent is for that here in America. Third grade, fourth grade, whatever it is. Whenever you're 13 years old. For some reason that I cannot understand to this day.
It's ninth grade.
My friends or my colleagues in class, I don't know if it was jealousy, if it was whatever it was, but they were against me. And they would just go out of their way to insult me, to do weird things like that. And after the really traumatic events that at some point I'll share too someday, it was a really bad one. I go home and I'm having a breakdown. I'm like, why did I even come to this city? Nobody likes me. My friends are over there in Kinshasa. Dad, why are we here? I don't want to be here. The water does not taste good. Like all these things. And I go to him, which was a bold move. My father was not really the one to, hold you in his arms and make you feel good.
You must be dreaming. What is this?
The king of the castle, the
OGS things to finish.
You only approach him with important matter. I approach him, I'm like, Dad, why can't I just go back to Kinshasa? My oldest two brothers, the two oldest ones stayed because they were so close to graduating high school. Yeah. That I was like, I just stay there. I don't want to uproot you, and you just have a year or two left. Yeah. I was like, can I just go back with them? And then that's when he tells me, be patient. You don't know what I have planned. But by the time you're done, I will send you to America. And all this will not even make sense anymore. You won't even care about this, but you'll have a much better chance at life, at education and all that.
I mean, that coming from your father is actually not usual.
Unusual, indeed.
Yeah,
that's
so
not really his MO.
I think it maybe saw your honest distress.
Oh, he did.
Because
I never approached him with matters like that. Matters of my soul when I wasn't feeling right. And he told me, don't worry about this. All these people who are making fun of you, they will envy you one day. I will send you further away from here, and then you'll have a chance at being whoever you want to be. Nothing will be impossible to you. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it that way. In that moment, it's like he put on a different hat or a different personality just to appease me. And in my mind as a 13-year-old, all I'm concerned about is the issues that I have right now. I'm like, okay, Dad, that sounds good. Whatever that means. But what about now?
I'm about to go back to school to those horrible people.
Sure enough. Yeah. So that's really what planted the seed for me. And then from that point on, I knew, okay, well, Dad has said it. I have no reason to doubt his word because he also comes through. That is true. There's not a promise of his that I don't remember him fulfilling. And he never made many of them either. He never talked much in the first place.
I think it's a cultural thing for our parents. I really want to keep that going. I look here in America, I notice fathers as empties, promising things to children. Children are waiting for it to happen and not happening.
Yeah, that is.
I'm like, why are you promising this child this? Why are you promising you're going to be in the game? You know you're going to work. Why you promise? Why can't you just say, I do not know? What will have the hopes of a child up? And then kids lose the words of their parents early, the value of it. To this day, I still hold the value of the word of my father, the highest standing. The OG will tell me it won't happen before he lies or says something that won't work. So,
that is true. You know, they say, I used to just dismiss this as a platitude. You'll come to know that I hate those. The idea is your earthly father gives you the best best perception of who you think God is. And that is very true. My relating to God has been shaped a lot growing up by the way that I saw my father. So I tended to approach God as this monarch, this ruler, the one who just tells me what to do. That I don't answer back to you. I will not argue with you. I will not come and misbehave around you. So that is true. So imagine a father who makes a whole bunch of promises, never follows through. Then I really believe now that it puts that hurdle in there, in your faith, in the faith of a child towards, their father they can see is not reliable. And how much more this being.
This father they don't see.
You don't see, yeah.
I can then trust him. I can then trust the voice that is sending them or the story they're telling him is talking to them. They can't even hear his voice. I can then trust him. It's strange.
Yeah, that was the seed. That was the seed planted. What happens after that in your story?
The practical thing happening. They coming from seed to dream. So often visualized. Nobody ever told me meditation or visualization. I've realized that there is something to it to picture. If you see it in your mind, it can happen. And nobody told me that. But often, I would be, for many reasons, I was like a small prisoner in my home, in our enclosure. Who knows if those stories will be declassified enough to be shared. But there was a reason why I was like a prisoner growing up. I didn't know for a long time. But I had sisters, mostly. Which means for entertainment, I had to play girls' game. It's boring. I was a dude, I wanted to play soccer with my friends. I wanted to go do sports and they used to play. Yeah. Eventually, I started escaping because I was a revolted kid. I did whatever I wanted. If I thought something was unreasonable, I thought it was justified for me to go do my own thing and the punishment come. Because like, I'm not a prisoner, I'm a free soul.
Take it on the chin.
What is this? So that was my point of view as a kid. To the chagrin of my sister Ruth, who hated to see me being punished. I'm sorry, Dada. I apologize. Rufy! Ah, man, what a sweet kid that is. But anyways, yeah. So I was visualizing a daydream, visualize the situation quite often. In my room, locked in there in that dungeon, you know. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm a bit of a teenager, so meaning life has gone well, perhaps has developed. There's a bigger house being built. At this time, we know each other because we met at troisième secondaire.
Yes.
We know each other already. We started sitting next
14,
to each other.
I was 14, yeah.
Yes, we started sitting next to each other, and we are there in that environment. I was 15, I think, and you're 14, and after school, I'm going to my little dungeon, you know, and to which I'm going to escape. A lot of the times, I negotiated freedom times, which eventually I got because if I wasn't going to get it, I was going to escape anyway. It was becoming stressful for everybody. Long story. But I'll spend some times dreaming of freedom in my room, picturing how it would be a world where it's 6 p.m. and I'm somewhere in front of my friends. And I don't have to rush home in the panic and darkness because dark is coming and the door needs to be locked. You know, I was like, how nice will it be? I'll picture myself in basketball courts like I used to watch in the Le Frère Scott, One Tree Hill for the Americans. I grew up watching that show. Luca and his brother Nathan playing basketball in the park at night. Oh, what a dream that would be. The lights in the park, and I'll go there play basketball. Because we always play basketball, and when the basketball becomes competitive and fun, the darkness comes in and we have to leave. You have to rush home. Everybody's rushing home because they know they're about to get there whooped because they're too late at home. All of us just rushing in all directions like mice, a herd of kids just running back home. And there he was. And I was there in that period visualizing this. And I was like, I can't wait until I get to go to America, to go to school, not knowing that there was a step in between for me. So growing up, I had a friend, my first friend ever, as a child, Steve. Our friendship caused our family to become like the same families. People thought our families were related. You know, when Steve had a wedding in his family, we were involved in many ways. Just our relationship brought our families together. A very strange thing. You know, in a very close way. Absolutely close way. And Steve's father was a smart entrepreneur and a vision sort of OG. So he did his business in Nairobi a lot, in Kenya. So he once goes and he goes to Kenya. Steve will go with him sometimes, les vacances. For me, that was a thing of fiction. Vacances? What is this that people go to vacances? Vacations, you know? And they will travel and go to Nairobi and he will come back and regale me with tales of this city with lights that never die. Anyways, Steve goes there with his father. His father comes back. And then Steve there tells me, dude, my father wants us to go to an international school in Kenya. He shows me brochures. I look at this brochure, I'm like, what? You know, the uniforms. You know, the prep school uniforms, the little jacket, the ties. I was like, I hated my uniforms. We used to wear blue shirts and blue pants.
In Nairobi?
No. In Congo.
White shirts and blue pants.
White shirt and blue pants. White shirt and blue pants. Absolutely dreadful. I hated that
all of us
ensemble. Looking like pants. It was a strange ensemble.
Anyways, person, yeah.
You know, and they will crack down on every sort of personality. If you try to show personality in your dressing in any way, there's a guy called Leon who will crack down on it. And my goodness, that brother had enough of me. I will defy him day and night. I will find clever ways. They say, okay, tuck in your shirt. I will tuck in my shirt, but leave one stand of the back untucked. You know, small things like that. Anyways, but I'm looking at this, and I hate the uniforms. That's what I believe. But I look at these uniforms like, wow, I've loved to be in this uniform. A nice jacket with an emblem of the school, a nice tie, pants, good shoes. Girls had those skirts with the lines and the whatever. I was like, I'm looking at the brochure with Steve. Those multiple schools. They're like, this is wonderful, man. I wish my dad would let us go. I mean, Steve B.B. promptly informs you that the plan of his father was not for him to go by himself, but for me and Ruth to go with him. Keep in mind at this time, the school in Nairobi in Kenya, they do English. We don't speak a lick of English. Well, his father comes to my house. That was rare. Our moms visited often, but our fathers didn't visit it. So
understand.
his father asked audience to my father. It becomes an entire ceremony in which we're all nervous as children. What's going on? Obviously, a chicken is assassinated and prepped. Dinner is created beautifully. Steve's father comes on. He enters. He comes with Steve. Steve and I goes in the back. We go play. At this time, I had the honor of having a PS2. Made me a king, a more man. I had a PS2 and I was playing soccer with Steve BB. And the PS2 was a gift of Ruth. I'll never forget that kindness she did me. On my birthday, Ruth went to my pops.
Oh, okay. I was like, y'all fellas already moving cash like that. Okay.
No. She went to my dad and begged my dad to buy me one. She said that's what I wanted. I couldn't believe it. It's one of the best gifts I've ever had in my life. I didn't see that a possibility in my existence.
Hey, PS2 raises your social status. All of a sudden, you become the center of attention. People better be friends with you to have your favor.
Anyway, Steve and I go and we used to do what we do now with Ben, the soccer game. It was the first time we started. Steve and I used to do this thing. If you can change the time, we would play a real game, 90 minutes.
90 minutes? Come on now.
It would be a battle of attrition. Anyways,
score like 30 goals, but okay.
Anyway, it was fun. It was fun, and we should do it during holidays. Christmas, we go to my. Christmas was a eating fest of unholy proportions. Those holidays, because you come to my place, there is food. You come to Steve's place, there is food. Every single person is trying to feed us.
Hey.
The beignet, we left beignets floating everywhere. But anyways, I diverge. Steve comes in. He goes to play with me. Parents discuss. We hear the parents talk, laugh, giggle as they're eating and whatever. And the conversation ends. Steve dad leaves. And leaves my dad with brochures. And then nothing happens. What's going to happen then? We have no clue. I wonder how Ruth remembers this story. But anyways, we're living our life normally. We're like, okay, nothing was said. And then, at this time, I'm playing basketball. I'm enjoying my life. I'm starting to love high school. My status between my peers is risen to a comfortable place. I'm still in troisième secondaire, which is like kind of low grade, but my name is being thrown in as commandant of the school. I'm meeting with the elders of the school. I'm organizing the teams. I was doing my J thing. I'm feeling myself in the high society of that our small school, organizing things, organizing big events and things like that. And I'm like, I'm loving this. My father, once school is about to end, and comes to me say, Christian, Ruth, this summer you guys are going to Nairobi, you're learning English, and you're enrolling in school there. Both.
I wonder did that come with excitement for you?
Yes, and also
learning a brand new language and all that stuff.
The news it was excitement, but you don't know what's coming with it. And then I go to Nairobi, I figured I cannot communicate with anyone. All my confidence, my social ability is destroyed. I'm an outgoing person, but I cannot be outgoing and comfortable because I can't speak. It was tough. I live in this hostel. The food is unedible to me. And you know how I am with my food. I want the right food. You don't want to mess with me. And I go there, at the hotel, they will serve sukuma wiki with this fufu that was hard. You know what I mean? The Kenyan food.
I'm familiar. I was there 2 months.
Unedible. It was torturous. Anyways, we are living there. And mom went with us. So at least we had her to have mercy. She'll get us food out. And the mom lived with the girls. So that was Eugenie, who was going to college.
Steve's sister, yeah.
Yeah, Steve's sister. Yeah, Eugenie. Yeah, Edge. Hella. She's doing good today. But anyway, it was Eugenie, it was Ruth, Esther, and there were other girls. I don't remember what. Oh. And we were there with the Zalukis, your cousins.
Joe, I see you, good dog. Daniel. Yeah.
Yes, and we were learning English. And needless to say, you can not really learn English in the summer. Let's just be honest.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
No, listen, but guess what? I was thrown in the fire and then I started school. School was hard. I was failing terribly at the beginning. Because I was in class, I couldn't understand the word the professor says. So I became strange. I started studying by myself. But anyways, that was the process. So we ended up in Nairobi. Little did I know, my dream, my vision is coming closer and closer.
And you don't see it happen as it happens. No. It's just like growing up. You don't realize that you're gaining a tenth of an inch every week, you know.
Really, truly, you can only connect the dots looking backwards.
Indeed.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. Thankfully, I've always had the level of good place, you know, generally, because the kids there did not also take kindly to. They are not nice to foreigners who don't speak the language. You know, kids are kids. Now that I understand in the dormitorium, you know. So especially the boy side, thank God. The girl side, they seem to be more civilized than boys. But also, I was too overwhelming to bully. You know, there was a desire to do so, but it was meant with ferocious response.
Hey.
That it died down instantly. you know. So I've always been a big kid, a strong kid. You know, it wasn't all smooth, and there were some kids there that would try to, you know, insult you, make you feel down because you don't speak English like them. You know, but eventually, in the school there was also kids like me who came from other places. So there are kids in the dormitory that spoke French, a few of them that spoke also Swahili, that spoke, you know, everything. So it was not as difficult to find my way navigate my way in this place. And believe me or not, my second year, I was the commander, student leader president, with a dear friend that I've lost contact with, Zakaria Dawood. I wish I was more mature as Zakaria Dawood, but you're a good man, a Somali man, and a Muslim man. You know, it changed my view of Muslims. He was the kindest, the most accommodating of all the people we met around. And also one of the smartest person I've ever met. He was a top dog in the entire school. And he's trying to go to MIT.
I hope he's at MIT right now. I don't know. I hope he is.
And it's finished right now. He finished. He's done school. Anyways, Zakaria Dawood was a godsend. He helped me understand, study, and pick my courses. I used to be very good at biology and chemistry. Not very good at chemistry, but I understood chemistry at least. And I was very good at biology. I loved it, I understand it. And what I wanted to do later has to do with biotech. I wanted to create prostheses. You know, that was the area of engineering I wanted to be in. But doing biology and chemistry in English broke me. Nomenclature is too important. And there is rule of nomenclature, and it would be flipped. So and you have to understand nomenclature to understand how molecules are formed, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I was struggling dearly. I had to drop it and I focused on physics. That was one of the advantages that we could do in Nairobi that we couldn't do in Congo. I could decide I don't want to do these courses. I want to focus on these courses because I'm heading here in my path. And they will let you. And it was really Cambridge University. So it wasn't it was a prep school from Cambridge University with Cambridge University teachers, and even my XR certificate was a Cambridge University certificate. It wasn't a really high school certificate. So it was well done. It was a great place to get a good education. But guess what opened my doors to this place as always? Sports. I do not need to speak English to give you some, you know. And I get into basketball. I played basketball. I played soccer. I played rugby. You know, I dominated. I dominated. I even did track and field. I throw the shot put.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. I threw the shot and I actually got medals throwing the shot put.
Hmm.
I was just bigger for
Shot,
me.
that's that heavy ball you're spinning around with
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
throw it. Ah,
yeah.
wow. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. Hey, I ranked in Nairobi with the shot put. Obviously, among the this private school, I guess, competition. It was different than the public school in Kenya. Some of those basketball teams were crazy. Those kids are the kind of kids that go to the NBA. So they're different. But yeah, so it's those two sports that the door to come to America for the first time for me opened. We play basketball. One day our team say we've been invited for a camp due to what I guess how we played in Philadelphia in the United States. We went to a basketball camp there.
And that's when you first came, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, really? Is that possible? Now, the problem was at that time, there was a war in South Sudan. It was when South Sudan was going to be divided in two. Because Sudan was in the war to be divided in two. And some of my teammates who were from Sudan did not get the visa because there was war in their country. But guess what? Whose countries was war in? Mine. So the talk was, I'm not going to get the visa either. But by the grace of God, I got a visa.
Favor.
It was just a different type of visa than the others. I did not know. I got a B visa, and they had a recurring visa. They could come, they could get scholarship, be a student. I couldn't. You know. So we came to America to the camp to demonstrate our talent. I'm in the basketball camp, but guess what opportunity I got? Football.
American football.
Some coach came in and was like, what the heck is this large kid moving like this? They're like, okay, they tested me. You're gonna test me. Do this drill. Put some weight on me. And I was like, well, no. What's going on? They say, no, you should be playing football. We're gonna teach you. We're gonna give you a scholarship. And then they look at my papers. They're like, I'm sorry. His visa doesn't allow him. He cannot be a student. And then some of my friends got opportunities to go to college to play basketball. They return excited. Great players, excited to renew to their families. And me, I returned knowing that I had the opportunity. And I was...
The slap.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was returned because of the... And at this time, I didn't know what football was, to be honest. I didn't care about football. I did not watch football. I just knew they're about to pay me to go to college. Are you crazy? If whatever this football is, I shall play it.
Yeah, we showed no interest whatsoever in American football back home.
So I didn't know. So I come back home and at a time, and to be honest, I skipped quite a bit part of the story. How I got the visas. It wasn't easy. Yeah, let me go back to that story and tell the story. So first off, if you look at the American embassy in African countries, it's like a door to heaven.
It's a fortress.
Guns everywhere. You have to respect yourself there. Everybody's there in line.
Oh yeah.
Hoping as well. My interviews were in Nairobi. I remember it was yesterday. We go as a team to get visas. But Sudanese people are rejected and everything. But they look at me, they say, okay, you know what? We're going to give you the visa. Give you the visa, but your passport, it's a bit old. So we cannot stamp a visa in this kind of old passport. But there is still many space. What does it matter that the cover is old? A ridiculous reason. That guy was just looking for a reason to deny me a visa. So you say, Anna, I'm sorry, we cannot give you this visa because your passport is old. That was the reason, they put the official reason. They would give you a slip and they would say, you have 3 days to bring us, you have 2 days to come out with a renewed passport. And then we're going to stamp the visa in your passport. They give me a note to jump the line. You know? Knowing in their minds and everybody around me, that was an impossible task. How does a Congolese kid who is in Nairobi, Kenya, get a passport in 2 days? How is it even possible?
An impossibility, yeah.
And I saw my coach heartbroken for me. He couldn't even look at me in the eye. You know, and he took the other keys. Nothing was said. and I knew things have gone wrong. I guess I'm not gonna get to go. And there was this rock outside the embassy. It was a big enclosure, obviously, fortress guarded, and there was just a few rocks, decoration rocks, that were in front of it. I went outside the embassy and I said to one that's rock, and I had this sinking feeling in my stomach. I'm like, I guess I don't get a chance. It's not happening for me. The coaches that my teammate are giving me condolences. Chris, sorry, Chris. That's too bad you don't get to come fast. Sorry. I remember there was Daniel Omondi, Jeremy Mwaniki. Jeremy is a good kid, man. I wonder where he is. Ah, man. There was Joe, the Burundian. Anyways, so I get everybody, and the Sudanese ones are in tears because they are denied flat out, you know, and they could have gone to the soccer one in Denmark because the school was sending some soccer players in Denmark as well for similar things. Well, so there I was sitting on that rock. So I pulled out my phone and I called my father. So that was in the embassy, and he's like, "What? Did you get the visa?" I was like, "No." I said, "I denied you," and I said, "No." It's like, "What's going on?" I said that they say they gave me 2 days to get the new passport. They say my passport is old, so and if it's too long, more than 2 days, then I won't get the visa, and plus our flight is soon, all that kind of stuff. Eh? But that does not miss a beat. He just said, okay, in an hour, I will send you a flight ticket. Go home, pack up. You're taking a flight today. You're leaving Nairobi. You're coming to Kigali. There is a paid driver will pick you at the airport and send you at the hotel. You're gonna stay at that hotel. I was like, all of a sudden, life rushes back into me like a fire coming from heaven. I ran. I ran back home. I take a motorcycle. Run back home. I tell people what's happened. I was like, what really is like? Oh yeah, that is going to send me a ticket. Boom, the ticket is sent. Same day I'm at the airport. Airport, I'm in a flight. Flight, I'm in Kigali. Kigali, the usual driver that my dad had to pick up people at the airport in Kigali. Why does he have a usual driver to pick up people like in Kigali? I do not know.
G things.
That OG comes at the airport. I recognize him because he drops us. He's your taxi man. And then the taxi guy grabs me. I don't have any money really, but the taxi man pays for the hotel for me. Give me some pocket money for food. And the rest of my day with my father, obviously. The next morning, the taxi man grabbed me. I drove from Kigali to Goma, across the border. But before I even left Nairobi, my father had me scan my passport and send it to him. Little did I know, when I was in my flight, he had sent it to Kinshasa or whatever he sent his passport. People tried to expedite this situation for me to get a new passport. But there's a problem. It has to be printed in Kinshasa and brought here, but we did not know. So here I'm in my way to Kigali. I was like, okay, I'm going to get to Goma. I enter Goma. My father is figuring out a friend who actually happened to travel from Kinshasa to Goma. That same day, next day. So this is the next day. I reach there. I see my mom. She's happy, jubilating. Don't worry. Ton papa va t'occuper de ce passeport. Don't worry, you get the passport. For the view of my father, it was like it was a done deal already. So because everybody around me seems to think that this impossible task is a done deal, and I'm asking you exchange, I'm like, oh, done deal. Worry not. I'm flabbergasted. A few hours later, that same day in the evening, that comes home with a passport. Oh, here you go. Open the passport. I'm like, this is my passport. It's brand new. I was like, oh yeah. And it is, you need to quick put a cover on the passport. How many times have I told you? I don't remember any email telling me about the old passports, but African dads. Was like, yes, dad, that shall cover the passport. To this day, I have that angst about my passport being old, which is nonsense. But the same day, I grabbed the passport. Now, remember, at this point, oh no, this is not that time. This is before I got big. So at this point, I'm like excited now. Now is a matter of making the proper flight because my meeting at my rendezvous at the embassy is in the evening. If I miss it, I'm done. So if something goes wrong in my trip from Goma to Nairobi, that's it. I enter the car with dad. Boom, put me in a taxi, Kigali. Kigali, I barely make my flight. Like barely. Last minute, Christian Akiza, last passenger called, here, run. And thank God that he not have really much luggage. But I make the flight, and I'm praying to God, may this flight not be delayed. And I knew in Nairobi, there is a mean traffic in the afternoon. And coming from the airport was a bit far. You have to drive for, I don't know, quite far away. Jomo Kenyatta. It's quite a bit far. And I was myself, okay, I need I cannot get a taxi. I have to get a bicycle, a motorcycle.
Okay.
A motorcycle, because to avoid the traffic.
Yeah.
So I get there, Roof is on the phone, Roof knows what's going on, so Roof handled everything for me. Make sure that I was ready to be picked up. I was picked up, leaving the airport straight to the embassy. Rice crying, feeling like every break is a nightmare. And then I literally get off a motorcycle as it's my appointment time. So I give that person the appointment. I was like, hey, Tosi, if you're late, what is this? Come in. I go, and then they call me. And then the guy who denied me is surprised to see me visibly. He's like, what?
Young fella, you made it, yeah?
And then I was like, yes, sir, here I am. I remember you. You play basketball and everything. He was asking me questions about basketball and everything. I remember you. Well, you got a passport? I was like, yes. Wait, are you the son of Kabila? What's going on? I was like, no, sir.
Kabila's a president, a former president.
Yes, I'm just lucky. So I give him the passport. He looks at it and then he looks at me again. Like, really? He's like, who are you? Yes, who is your dad? I'm like, he's just a guy. And then they go, give me the passport. Now, at this point, my school people do not know what's going on. Right? Our flight left at night. About 8 p.m. I believe. Take me to the airport was Ruth, Esther, and Steve. My people. Everybody's expecting that Christian won't show. But I paid for everything, get the ticket and everything, ready around it. But I didn't tell anybody that everything get corrected. And then at the airport and intake, the coach just sees me coming in. He's like, whoa? How are you here? So he collected all his passports. He just collected my passport as well. He's like, who is your father? That was the question. And to this day, I don't know why I did not understand why they were all interested to know who's my father. And then because he's like, well, what do you mean is my father?
His brother he has pull. He has influence. I get that.
Who is your father? I didn't put two and two together. I'm like, hey, my father is my father. What do you want me to do? You take the passport. I'm going to play with my friends. Stevie B came and brought me my guitar because he'd forgotten my guitar, and my friends insisted you should throw with your guitar. Come bring your guitar so we can play music. You can play music when you're there. So that's how I ended up bringing my guitar. And that was it for me. Those doors opened up. I entered. I entered that Emirates flight, and I landed in Philadelphia in a military camp. Hot military camp in which we played basketball all day. It was exhausting. It felt like a job, but it was awesome. Oh yeah, and some of the people that were supposed to care for us stole the money we sent for our care. So we're living in a precarious situation. It's a long story, but yes, adults stole money, so our comfort was drastically reduced because of that.
For the whole team?
The whole team, yes.
Wow.
It was a scandal. Somebody got fired after that. But yeah.
That's wild. These are some of these details I never heard. This is interesting to almost hear the story as if for the first time. You were right. Time flies. More than an hour in. I think we should probably leave the rest for the people next time. But wow. And I shall also catch them up to what happened after my dad told me you shall go somewhere. Worry not.
Yeah, do you think this is a good place to end this today?
Yeah.
People, stay tuned. Best of the story is coming. And we are done for today.
Indeed. Wow. Wow.